Welcome back to A Moment in History. I'm Seth Udinsky. The ocean is an unsettling place. For thousands of years, sailors, pirates, and seafaring men have come up with no small amount of legends and tales to describe and try to make sense of the turbulence of the sea. While some are complete myths, others have a mythical character but are actually somewhat true. One of the most terrifying of these is the legend of the beast of the waters that was said to crush whole ships in its grip, a creature that was known in ancient days as the Kraken, but today is actually known by another name. Now, before we reveal this creature's true identity, let's take a look at the mythology and history of the Kraken, at least according to the stories told by sailors, pirates, and ship captains throughout the ages. So stories of terrifying and massive sea monsters are as old as humanity itself. In ancient times, the sea was often compared synonymously with chaos and fear, so it makes sense for the human imagination to create legends and fables about sea creatures. The first example we see of the Kraken comes from the Middle Ages in the Baltic and Scandinavian regions of Europe, with a giant man-eating creature known to these pre-Christian Northern Europeans as the Hafgufa. Now, in the later Middle Ages and early modern period, the legend of the Kraken began to take shape as we know today. Sailors and pirates would tell stories of a horrifying, many-armed octopus or squid-like creature that would wrap its massive tree-trunk-sized tentacles around ships and destroy them, dragging the sailors down to Davy Jones's locker or devouring them altogether. By the 1700s, the word Kraken, which is rooted in old Scandinavian tongues and loosely translated as sea monster, was part of the vernacular of shipmen and seafaring myths told across Europe and the West. Over the next several centuries, the legend of the Kraken remained in novels and literature and would grow in popularity, and eventually it found its way to cinema in the 20th century. But by the turn of the century, the 20th century that is, scientists had discovered that a Kraken-like creature was not just the stuff of horrifying seafaring tales, it really existed in what scientists have now discovered to be the giant squid. In the late 20th century, scientists had discovered body parts for a mysterious creature that lived in the depths of the ocean, too deep to be explored by any human thrill seeker. Then in 2004, Japanese scientists captured the first ever live footage of a giant squid, and according to my research, the largest squid ever on record measured at a whopping 59 feet in length. Now, fortunately for ocean lovers, it appears giant squid are not the man-eating monsters that the Kraken legend makes them out to be, though they are meat-eating predators and they are very big. Since they swim so deep, they have very little competition on the food chain, with one giant exception being the sperm whale, which many scientists believe to be the one deep-sea creature to sit above the giant squid on the food chain. Thanks so much for joining me once again for A Moment in History.